want it always, always and ever.
Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first video on this channel. To quickly give an overview of what this channel will be about. It's all about self-improvement, advice, and lifestyle. So for my first video, I thought I would kind of unpack the topic of why waiting is costing you your goals. Because I feel like a lot of the times we think, to be in a waiting season is to be a good thing. And as much as it is a good thing sometimes, it's also a bad thing, because waiting creates the illusion that you are actually doing something when you're actually not. We're going to unpack, everything that comes under this topic. So yeah, let's get into the video. The first point that I want to touch on is procrastination. I feel like that's something that everyone struggles with, and I feel like a lot of the times we say we're in a waiting season, we say that we're procrastinating because we feel like we need more of something. It's always, I need more information on this, I need to plan more, I need to prepare more. But really and truly, all of it just boils down to the fact that you're not ready to take that leap. And the reason why you're not ready to take that leap is because you consider that leap as discomfort. You consider that leap as danger. And all of these things come from the emotion of fear. You want to almost stay in a space in your life where it's like, you know exactly what's happening, you know exactly what's going on, you know the routine of things, you feel safe in it. That's your body, that's your emotions telling you, you know what, let me stick to something that I know. It's all about emotional comfort. Versus if you take that risk, there's that whole feeling of, okay, I'm stepping into something that's unknown. I'm stepping into something that is probably going to be uncomfortable in the beginning, because I'm going to have to learn how to adjust to it. I'm going to have to learn how to, live life with it. And I feel like a lot of the times people, they're not willing to kind of change their lives because of that. So it's like you will try and make this whole kind of excuse almost of, okay, because I'm not ready to take this risk, let me just go back to the drawing board and let me just fill in the extra gaps. Even though there's no gaps that need to be filled, let me just create gaps so that I can spend more time in this season of my life so I don't have to move on to the next. While you're doing all of this is costing you your goals, all of this is costing you your dreams, all of this is costing you success and freedom in the future. And I feel like people need to realize that, because the quicker you realize that, the quicker you can achieve your goals. It's just time is not forever. And I think a lot of procrastination and a lot of waiting comes from the idea of us taking advantage of the time that we have. We are not immortal. We are not permanent beings, As morbid as it sounds, our time on earth is limited. So you want to make sure that you are using that amount of time to the best way that you can. Optimize it. Literally optimize your time. I'm not saying you have to be that type of person that, wakes up at 5, goes to bed at flipping 11 and repeats. Because yes, you should optimize your time, but also acknowledge the fact that as human beings, we are not perfect. We cannot show up 100% every single day. That's just not possible. In an ideal world, we would be able to optimize our time every single day, be using every hour of the day appropriately. But what you have to understand is that we are humans, which means that we are not perfect beings at all. We are not. But what we can do is try our best. I always say, even if you can't perform at 100% every day, because quite frankly, no one can. It's impossible. There's going to be days where you just don't feel like doing it, and there's going to be days where you need a rest. Like, you're going to have those type of days. It's not possible to be performing at a high level 24/7. It's just not possible. But what you can do is try to be better than what you was yesterday. So for example, yesterday if you performed at 20%, if you performed at 15%, try and maybe perform at 30 to 40%, and then just gradually increase it. Maybe if you perform for 100% for a whole week, okay, have a rest, replenish yourself so that you can perform that again. Using the time that you have appropriately and not being so much in a waiting season, because I also think people that are in a waiting season, I think sometimes they have a misconception of what action looks like, of what doing stuff looks like. People think taking action means performing at 100%, but like we've just said before, it's fluctuating. Like, people wait until, like, let me wait until I have more support, until, you know, there's more time on my side, or until I practice more. Or let's say, like, it's social media, people are like, oh, let me wait until I have a camera. I'm not gonna lie, I'm filming this on my phone, so there's actually no excuse. Stop trying to create a perfect time, because there's never going to be a perfect time. Because, okay, cool, once you get that thing that you need, that you was so desperately needed, that you were talking about, there's always going to be another risk that presents itself. So I always say, just if you have something on your mind, if God has put the vision in your head and has blessed you with that vision, take action upon it. Because it all links back to my original point about time. Time is limited. Imagine if you had seen that vision, you had taken action upon that vision that was given to you last year. Imagine where you would be this year. Cool, you might have started out with not everything that you needed, but you would have built it along the way. Don't wait until there's this perfect time, because the perfect time doesn't exist. It does not exist. It's a figure of your imagination. It does not exist. But what does exist is you building through the experience, is you building along the journey. That's what exists. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is that I feel like people use waiting season as a way to disguise their fear. I think a lot of the times you'll say, yeah, I'm just planning this. Yeah, like, I want to do this, but I'm going to do it like later on, because all you care about is your fear of judgment. Whether it's fear of judgment, whatever the case may be, you care about it a bit too much, to the point that you're letting it stunt you from growing. It's about to be a new year, and how many times have you stepped into the gym? Heck, it's Q4. How many times have you stepped into the gym during Q4? None. You need to stop letting fear get in the way of you chasing your goals. Whether it's social media and it's fear of judgment, fear of perception, you need to realize people that are talking about you is people that are stuck in the same place. More time, the reason people talk is because they're looking at other people doing things that they wish they could do, that they wish they had the courage to do. You'll never catch someone talking about someone else that's doing the same thing that they're doing. You will always catch someone talking about someone else that's doing the things that they're not. Apply that to your situation. People are only going to speak about you because you're pushing yourself to the next level. You're elevating yourself. All you need to think about is that you're getting your life together. Whatever age you may be, I'm going to talk to people that are, you know, the same age as me, because, listen, I can only speak for my experience. But the people that are the same age as me, so what, like 18, if you're getting your life together at 18, trust and believe by the time you're mid-20s, you're going to be set, because it's like you've prioritized the right things. Don't let people's judgment, don't let people that are small-minded get in the way of you achieving your goals. Don't ever let that happen, because the reason why people are talking is because of small-mindedness. It's because they can't see themselves doing it, so they have to hate on other people. We've spoken a lot about, you know, why waiting is bad, but what I do want to talk about is what you can do for those people that are in that waiting season, and, you know, you feel a bit anxious about taking action, and, you know, how to start, really and truly, how to make a start before you feel ready. And one of the things I always say is just take the smallest step possible. Take the smallest step of action possible, because it's not like you haven't done anything. You've done something. Is it the biggest thing that you could do? No. But at least you've done something. You're way better than the rest of the people that haven't. Let's say it's a thing that you're scared of, like going to the gym, because you're scared of being judged. You know, you're scared that you're not going to know what you're doing, that your form's going to look off. Okay, cool. If you don't want to go to the gym, go for a walk. Go for a walk around your block for 30 minutes. Go for a walk. That's still taking a step. It might not be the desired step, because really and truly, the desired step is you going to the gym and completing your workout and coming back home. But you've still taken an appropriate step. You've still exercised, no? Walking is a form of exercise. You've still taken that step. It's the smallest step. It's a step in the right direction, because with you taking that walk, okay, cool. You continue walking for the next month or so, you will start to build your confidence. Who knows? Maybe during that month when you're doing the whole walking thing, you might be like, okay, cool. You know what? Instead of me taking the walking outside, let me take it in the gym. Let me use the treadmill. Let me get comfortable inside the gym. Okay, now you've learned how to use the treadmill. Let me just, you know what, after I do 30 minutes on the treadmill, let me do a 20-minute ab workout on the mats in the gym. I'm still in the gym. I'm still working out. I might not be using the machines, but I'm still working out. Okay, cool. After a while of doing those ab workouts on the mats, you're like, okay, let me incorporate weights into my workouts. You're now doing weighted workouts. After that, you can be like, okay, cool. Let me start incorporating maybe 1 or 2 machines, just 1 or 2. Okay, after a while of that, you now have a whole workout full of machines. Do you see what I mean? It's all about building. All you have to do is take that small initial step, and it will snowball into you getting towards your desired goal. It's not about having the full picture immediately. It's just about putting your foot through the door. Another thing that I would say is that you need to allow yourself to be a beginner. Like, I think social media is partly to blame for the reason why, like, we've lost the idea of what a beginner is. Like, there's a reason why the word exists, you know. It's for people that start something new and they might not be the best at it, but they're learning, you know. The beginner stage isn't permanent. It isn't forever, you know. It's only when you're starting something out, and then you improve and then you become better. A lot of the times we see online that people are in the end result. You want to match that level, but you can't compare years of experience to a day. You can't compare the two. Like, if it was that easy, I promise you, if it was that easy, people would wake up thinking, okay, let me do this, and the next day they would be a pro, they would be monetizing it, they'll be doing everything. But that's just not the way that life works. Like, you have to keep building something, you have to keep chipping away at it for you to get better. You need to embrace that journey. You need to embrace the fact that you're going to be a beginner at every point in your life when you're starting something new. You have to be bad at the beginning for it to get better. You know, that's the whole point of improvement. It grows, it improves. You can embrace it within yourself. Some people, I know they've taken their journeys to social media. Like, they'll post their journeys in whatever, and they kind of use that as a way to show how they're growing through the stages. Consider the starting stages of your journey as, you know, you're collecting information, you're collecting experience. Don't think of it as like the end all be all. Like, when you're starting something new, use it as a way to gain the most amount of information about yourself, about what you're doing, about the whole entire experience. Because the minute you start seeing it as that, as collecting information, using all of this in a way to better yourself, it's like, let's use the exercising example again. Okay, I'm going for a walk for 30 minutes. Okay, cool. After my walk, what was good about it? Like, what made me feel good? Like, how did I feel? What did I do? Like, is there anything that was like stood out of the experience? And then after that, I'll be like, okay, what was not so good? Like, what could I have like improved on? Like, what could I have changed to make it better? And you do that consistently. And then you use that towards the next stage. Once you feel like you've incorporated everything that you've wanted to incorporate, you move on to the next stage. The more you do it, the more apparent things point out to you, the more self-aware you become. And I think self-awareness is key in life, because self-awareness is what causes improvement. If you're able to look at yourself from a third point of view and be like, okay, cool, this wasn't so good, let's change it. If you're able to do that, you can do anything. You can honestly do anything. Self-awareness is what helps bring change. It's what helps bring improvements. If you're not self-aware, how can you even acknowledge the things that need change? Therefore, you won't be able to invite change in your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's something that helps at least one person, because that's all what this is about, just helping. So if it can help one person, then I've done my job. So yeah, just like, subscribe, comment if you want to. Follow my other social media handles where I post related content to this. My TikTok and my Instagram are the same handle, @the Mel Anastasia. And yeah, stay tuned for more.